presentation on some of the crime-related stuff that's happening in town right now, okay? So any questions, concerns? Yeah, in the back, Bob. Southern California Gas, you want to know what's happening?
Yeah, because they've been using it as a storage area and a parking lot for 2 months. They haven't done any work.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, so here is the update on the 190th. You've probably seen, they've been doing work going all the way from Vermont down to here in Redondo Beach. They're starting to patch all that up if you go down into Torrance. Our section that's been under has gotten delayed, so I don't know if y'all remember, but I tried to send out a message back when they were starting this project. And I said there's good news and there's bad news, right? The bad news is that they're going to tear up 190th like they do every 3.5 years, you know, and we're going to have to deal with that. The good news is that there's a potential that this will be the very last time they ever do that. And so as of this past Tuesday night's council meeting, we finalized over a year long of negotiations with Southern California Gas. They're going to be building an enclosure up at the back end of the dog park. Where they will now access all their pipes for the next 99 years. It took a little bit it took a while for it to happen between engineers and attorneys negotiating all the finer points. But the reality is this will be the last time that a street is open, and as a result of the negotiations taking a little bit longer, plus some of their own backups internally with regards to weather or just stuff that was happening underground. They'll finish up this round of work on the street in the next 2 months. Then they'll start moving into their phase 2, which is going up the hill, and then phase 3 in. So the newest time frame, if you've seen the signs, is saying sometime in mid-October that should be all put back together. So I apologize for the delays. But like I said, the good news is they're not going to open it up in another 3.5 years. So
or else what?
Or
do?
what's that?
They won't need to.
If they have to do that.
If they had to open up the street,
Why would they be so afraid not to do that again?
why would they be so? I'm
Well,
sorry.
I guess I'm trying to think, what is the implications if they ignore that? If they end up ripping up that street again in another 3 years?
Well, they can't just rip up the street on their own, right? They have to go through the city to get the permits to be able to do that. And so the simple fact of the matter is we've gone through this exercise to ensure and given them a 99-year lease on that little small section to ensure that they don't have to.
Okay.
So now, if there was some type of catastrophic, I mean, the whole point of all this work is to avoid catastrophic stuff, right? So one of the things they're doing on those lines right now, aside from their normal checkup and repairs, is that if you guys remember when that big gas line blew up in Northern California some years ago, you know, well, a lot of these gas lines, you know, you have to go out on site to turn off the valves. Well, now what they're doing is they are setting it up so that all these gas lines can be shut down at their different valves from their off-site locations. So that's one of the major things that they've been doing as you go down that entire pipeline. All right, yeah, Bob.
Okay, so when they're finished.
They're setting it up so they can have one
do they
place to shut
replant
off
the
the
grass
gas.
and all the other stuff, or is that
Yes,
all-
so again, part of the negotiations, right? One, anytime they tear up the street, they have to repair the street back to our standards.
Right.
And granted, 190, as a part of our repaving program, 190th will eventually be, and Anita would be eventually getting repaved. But yes, they'll have to replace that back to city standards. As it goes for the area going up the hill, right? Part of the agreement is that they will replant that entire thing, which will actually be great. So because there's a bunch of dust that's created, especially for your folks on Green Lane, that I've heard from people on Green Lane blows up and onto your street. But if it's not bothering you, Steve, that's great. So yeah, they'll replant that, and then there's also, you know, negotiations related to what they have to do within the park area that they're gonna use. So some of that will be related to the area the footprint that they're gonna hold, and some of it will be related to the access that they need to get to that area. The one thing in between them right now, starting the work immediately, is that they also need Southern California Edison's sign off because they have to access that area through the Edison right away. So once they have finalized those aspects of the negotiations with Edison, then the work resumes and we move forward, hopefully hand in Mark had his hand up, and then I'll come over to you, Mike.
Well, I was wondering if they, when they start working on the park, on the dog park,
Yeah.
to go up the hill, are they gonna shut the street down some more to work on that?
Yeah, supposedly, once they're going up the hill, the street part should be, should go back to normal.
Totally open? It won't
That's,
be
that is my understanding. If something changes, then I will let you know, but that, my understanding is, yes, the street will close down, and, I mean, the street will open back up, and then they'll be up on the hill and/or in the park. Okay, Mike, and then I'll go to Dave.
What's the status on the gallery appeals?
Gallery appeals, I have heard a rumor that they are gonna be coming in October, but I don't have anything more definitive than that. Doug says October 2nd, and he is, to my understanding, one of the appellants. So, Dave?
Have you heard,
Sandy, why don't you ask about it?
The former Higgins. So, yeah, I don't follow that one as closely because it's not my
Let me take one
district,
more.
but the last I heard was that they were planning to open sometime in late winter or early spring. Now, I don't know if that means they're opening the CVS and the Higgins at the same time, but that property, was supposed to come alive again in that time frame. I don't know if that.
I go past it twice a day every
Yeah.
day, and nothing.
No, and I mean, I drive past it at least twice a week because my kids do tennis out at Anderson Park, and so, yeah, but that was the timeline that I heard. Somebody, I think there was, what do you call it, an alcohol, the ABT license thing was put up on there, so clearly it was posted at one point a couple months ago, so clearly they're going through the process. I just don't, I haven't seen, as anybody else, right, I haven't seen any work happening in terms of like refurbing the facade or getting things ready. So I don't know what the timeline is on that. Yes. Go ahead, anything else? Or?
Well, no, not on that one. I was just gonna ask, and no, you sent me a response on the sewer pipe project,
Yes.
the sewer pump project. Anything newer on that? I know there's two spots in that project. I just wondered if the workers were working on the one that was closer to the beach than this one here, because the only thing that's happened in the last 2 months is the fence cap.
No, so the two different projects. So the what David is referring to is we're replacing our largest sewer pump in Redondo Beach. It's down on Ringe, right by Fulton Playfield, and right next to Valor Academy. So, and basically what it means is all the sewage pipes, are coming in from the neighborhoods in North Redondo into that pipe, and then that pipe is a pump that helps get it out to the bigger pipes that then take it to Hyperion. So that's a year-long project, and based on when it started, which was in May, we would assume that it would be done next May.
Yeah, there was a lot of activity, and then it slowed down, and I was wondering maybe they're waiting for something, like concrete to cure or something like that.
And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff underground,
Yeah, there's
like big
two big
cavernous,
pumps.
yeah.
There's two very large pumps underneath. I've been able to see them. Big pumps underneath. They were running. When I walked my dog here before I came here, they were running. You can hear them.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the trick. Is it's like rebuilding your engine while it's running.
Yeah,
That's
Exactly.
the trick.
yeah,
And
so,
but I haven't seen anybody there in quite some time.
I don't know, I can follow up with Public Works and find out if either they're doing stuff that we can't see or.
No, I have not seen any workers.
Got it.
That's kind of.
Okay, so I'll follow up Public Works and I'll get you an answer, Nita.
You have two things. The walkaway Wednesday.
Walking Wednesdays.
Wednesday,
Uh-huh.
and the social host ordinance, if you could just go over those a little.
Yeah, so Councilmember Gran, in conjunction with the Beach City Health District, we announced this as a proclamation at the beginning of Tuesday's council meeting. We are promoting for the next 52 weeks something called Walking Wednesdays, where we're trying to, it's really kind of a direct result of what we've done with the Blue Zones project over many years, but the idea is to get individuals and their families to commit to just getting out and walking for, I think it's an hour every Wednesday. That's it. And I think they mentioned like a start time of sometime in the evening, assuming when everybody's home from work, but the reality is what's that?
6:30 to 8.
Okay, 6:30, yeah, but the reality is that you could do it any time time. It's really more of, you know, trying to inspire people to take a personal commitment to their own health and moving, you know, which is like part of the whole Blue Zones project mantra, right? It's just the small
I don't
things
need
that
the
you don't have to go to
government
the
to tell me
gym and get on a treadmill or ride a bike or lift weights. All you have to do is just take care of your body by
Right.
simply just walking. And in this case too, you know, I think part of the thought process is the more people that are out and walking, the more neighbors they're meeting, the more community building is happening, you know, and in terms of neighborhood watch and all those things I think are super helpful in having our neighborhoods feel safer, because when you know your neighbors, you look out for your neighbors, and it's just a good thing. So you guys know down on your street where you apparently know everyone. So,
Right.
and then the second thing Anita mentioned was we do have we do now, I think we're the last city in this area
Yeah.
to do it, but we now have a social host ordinance. Okay, basically what that means is one of the things the health district identified over many years and through surveys that they do with students and stuff is that we really do have a serious drug and alcohol problem with our teenagers in Redondo Beach. In the greater Beach Cities area too, but Redondo Beach does have a problem. It's kind of an unspoken problem. A lot of people aren't aware of it. But the simple fact of the matter is that, you know, children are exposed to alcohol and drugs at parties, at people's homes, and in some cases, what they found out that a lot of these parties were condoned by parents.
Oh.
And I think this is just my personal thoughts on it. I think what you have is people who are feeling like, well, if I'm there, I can at least control what happens, and I'd rather my kids be here with an adult around than off somewhere where I don't know where they are. But it's still a problem, and so we now have an ordinance that basically says parents are liable for anything that happens on their property. And so there's an accountability situation here, and we're hoping that as part of our continued education with the Beach City Health District and also some of the other local groups that, you know, promote safe, you know, no drinking, no smoking, no drugs with teens, that we would hopefully prevent any further situations like this from happening in the future. But as we talked about in the meeting, the police and the city attorney's office